And this is a wall.
We are live. The internet can totally see you now, it says.
Can they? But we do.
What it says.
This.
It says they can
see. Hello.
Wait, okay, hold on. Now we are good. Okay, that might. Don't worry about that thing. Okay, so let's just make sure that we can see us using the power of the YouTube app on my phone.
I will properly address everyone when I know whether or not we are actually live. We are
oh my gosh, this is
actually live. Okay, hello everybody, and today we are going to paint
this wall.
This wall
because it is needing to be painted.
Yeah, so we're gonna use green screen paint.
Hold on.
Wait.
This audio is terrible.
You're terrible.
You're terrible. Hold the horses. Hello.
Hold the horses.
Okay, we are going to up the audio. Testing. You test, because microphone pointed at you.
Testing, microphone testing.
Okay.
Why does it sound weird?
Hold on.
Like,
Okay. Whoa. What did it? Okay. Testing. Okay, that's better. You can talk.
Okay.
Alright, good. That's
Cool.
good. Duffy did get a haircut. Hello.
Yes, and this wall is going to get painted green. This one right here.
I should probably mute this.
Yeah, do
there
that.
we go. That's muted now.
This wall is going to get painted green because we are going to use it for video stuff. We had a portable green screen, but it kind of limited our ability to like
it was like
motions and stuff.
This wide.
Yeah, we couldn't really move a lot.
You had to keep your arms here, otherwise they'd get cut off.
So now in the office, we're going to green screen paint this. So this gives us a little more room to move around, and I don't have to worry about my arms or head or anything getting cut off.
I don't know why it's jittering like that. Oh, if you guys have any issues, I'll keep an eye on the chat, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, I don't
know
know if that's happening actually. Yeah, it's actually happening on the video.
I know it's happening over there. I'm not sure why right now. We got 3 coats of primer on this thing now.
It took forever because it was painted black.
Yes. It wasn't good. It was too dark. So now we've got it painted, primed, rather, and we're going to paint it green. I've got, in that box over there, Steve, you want to grab that box?
Sure.
We've got ourselves actual chroma key paint. Now this is not just paint that looks like the same color as green screen. This is paint that was specifically produced for green screens. So we're going to be able to do this thing. It's going to be awesome. Although,
does that mean
jittering.
If I eat it, that you'll be able to see weird green screen things in my belly?
I mean, if we tried to,
okay,
you'd also be dead.
Okay, so I need to take this over here. This is not helpful.
Yeah, that was the paint tray primer. Anyway, so we've got all the things we need. And we figured, since it's been a while since we did a live stream, we should try this again, and that's why we are. So right now I know that we've got Storyman here in the audience. How are you doing, Storyman? Oh, goodness, Steven is dropping stuff. Let me go ahead and open this up. Steven and I have share a favorite store. It is Lowe's.
I'm not allowed to go in Lowe's with any amount of money.
Yes, the last time he did that, well, he's still recovering. Thank goodness that they do returns, huh?
Alright, let's take this.
Alright.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it's fine. It's dried, I think. There's the can opener there. The paint can opener.
Oh, we gotta shake it first.
Shake it to your heart's content, my friend.
Shake it.
Storyman just had a breakfast burrito. I just feel the need to tell you these things because there's not much going on in the chat. But
nope, there's not much going on in the chat. Curl!
Maybe I should do that.
Real anime painting!
This guy doesn't sleep enough. You know
I did not sleep again last night. I was up until about 4:30 this morning.
Not good. You should not do that.
Not good. Not good at all. But what that did allow me to do was catch up on some manga reading. So
it's very hard to read this while you're shaking it. I just had a thought.
What?
Clean dry. Okay, good. I was just gonna say, because this is like special paint for special uses.
And you're hoping you didn't need a special primer?
I hope that it's not gonna say like, be sure to only paint this on a black wall. And then I'd be like, oh shoot! So no, it says to prime it first, so we're good. My goodness, why is it doing that thing to the stream? I don't get that. It should not be doing that at all. What if I opened this up? Would that help? Would that help? Let's see if that helps. We'll see if that helps. Bam! Anyway, we've talked about doing this project for a while now. Whoa! What did you do? Okay.
That's shut off. Goodness gracious.
The joy of training with Stephen and Duffy. Don't forget, draw a happy little tree. Says somebody with a Russian name that I cannot pronounce. Though I might do the Russian accent, I do not actually know the Russian alphabet.
You need to understand that this is in fact the joy of painting. With Stephen Ross. But it is, I am not skilled at doing anything other than going, oh yeah, that's the same color all the way across.
He is not his uncle. There is definitely a difference in skill level there. However, did you ever see his Uncle Bob paint an entire wall? Actually, you did, because he did that in the openings of his videos, and they probably look better than just a big flat thing of green. But, actually, no, that was green though, wasn't it? Because he would like just take one big giant roller thing, and then just like big stroke, and you'd have like the image there.
Yeah.
So he was doing exactly that. He had, dude, that's what we were talking about doing. We were talking about like having this thing set up with an image behind for green screening with.
Make sure that thing's all the way over.
Yeah, yeah. Man, that would have been hilarious.
It would have, but since
it's too late.
But it's too late to
do. We don't have time for that now. I don't know how to actually make that happen, so sorry.
It's too late to edit now.
Here's a challenge, says Rohan Joshi. Paint Goku.
Oh no.
Didn't you see he already did that? You know, that's what's in the thumbnail. Can't you tell? Anyway, so this is how you paint. You just go, whoa, and then you are done. And look, see, I have painted a Stephen 3D model.
Excellent.
By the way, in response to what Thorman said earlier, Duffy did not get a haircut, he gave himself a haircut.
He did give himself a haircut.
Stephen saw him and was like, you missed a few spots.
Yeah, I had to fix that. As someone who literally only cuts his own hair, I had to give him some pointers. Do not drop that paint all over the floor.
I will not drop the paint all over the floor.
Except
where I did it.
Except where you did it the other day. Hey,
freaking
listen. With things like paint,
yes,
force is not the. You don't want more force. Force is like, oh, I'm just gonna. Things that are technical. You need to slow down and get the technique.
I know how this works. No, I made the mistake of cutting my hair while my wife's out of town visiting her family, but I had nobody to actually tell me, John, you missed like so many spots. All right, I'll start over here so you can get your brush in here, your roller. Look at that, this happy little green. Happy little green.
Is it happy?
No, not really. It's actually quite sad.
Oh,
was I supposed to fill these holes in with toothpaste?
Yes.
Dang now. Should I go do that now?
Nope, it's too late now.
What do you mean too late now?
It's too late now.
It's not too late now.
It's too late now. It's okay. They'll be fine. I don't think they're big enough to matter at this point. Okay, and where's the edger?
I have no idea actually. You were the only one who ever touched that thing. The plan was to do this thing yesterday, but we got here and we were like, oh, this thing really needs more primer.
Yeah,
so we primed it again.
Yeah, because it was definitely not wanting to take the primer because it was black. I'm gonna go look and see if it's in here.
Okay. Now it's just you and me. I have been playing Spider-Man PS4. That is like literally all I've been doing in my free time lately. I haven't had a chance to play video games in so long, so it's been really fun.
I don't know where that is.
Okay, so Stephen lost a very important tool.
It's not that important because I possess the skill to be able to edge with just the brush, so.
Oh, look at that.
Not a big deal.
So, I'm a little concerned because it does not look at all like what I thought a green screen wall would look like. But I'm sure it'll turn out just fine.
Except that it won't. You also have to remember that wet does not look the same as dry.
True. So, I mean, I guess I should keep an eye on this chat, make sure that no one's got like questions here. Storyman says, I am reminded, for some reason, of Yvonne's discount powers. Which discount power would each of you choose?
Oh, there are so many.
So many.
So many powers.
And I don't think Yvonne. I don't think you're reminded, Storyman, of Yvonne for some reason. You're reminded of him because
I am Yvonne.
Because he is Yvonne, and we are using our Russian voices. I am Gregor, his accountant.
Hello, I am Yvonne,
Accountant.
and welcome to the joy of painting a green wall.
If you wish to follow along, make sure you have primed with liquid white, and then the green blood of your alien enemies.
But listen, unfortunately, now that you know of the existence of the aliens, we must kill you.
I thought we were going to use them in the fight against the aliens.
No, because I am a double agent for the aliens.
Oh, I guess I am the accountant for the double agent of the aliens.
Yes, you are the
agent. Says.
You are the agent of the agent of the agent.
Agent Venom.
Agent Orange. Wait, that is something else.
Okay. You know, it kind of looks like I am painting a skyline, almost. Well, you cannot actually know. From that angle, it would not look like that at all. What am I talking about? Oh, now Steven's going to take a while with that tiny brush. Yes, but the edging is important, so, you know. He'll do him.
Well, I will try to look for the edger here in a second, because this is taking longer than I wanted to.
Okay. I've only painted a room once before. No, wait, this is the third time I'm doing this, but I've only done it once for myself before, and that was my daughter's room. The first time was with Uncle Kira. That was... yeah. Anyway, this has been more fun than that.
I'm going to look again for the edger.
Okay.
I don't want to work. I just want to work. Wait, what?
This is what Steven is like most of the time, guys. But because he is so tired, he is not pretending that he knows what he's doing, like he usually does for you guys.
Excuse me?
What? Did I say anything? No, I didn't say anything. It's good. Good boy. Good.
Please don't make me, like, do anything that will get me arrested because it's on the internet.
This is how I am protected. So, Steven, how is your quest to do the heaviest pull-up in the universe going?
It is moving along.
Is it?
Yeah, you were there for the workout yesterday.
I mean, I was mostly panting about how hard it was for me to do the workout. Because starting Monday...
Ooh, goodness gracious. You know what? Let me see this. See the difference?
Yeah.
We're looking for that long roll. That up and down that you were doing makes the wall look like that. So we want nice, smooth lines. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
It's okay.
I have ruined everything.
Everything
is ruined.
Yeah, see that? Just roll nice. And then take that spot there, smooth that edge out.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you. Yep. So try to, there's a couple other spots down here that are kind of like that, so try to fix that. For those of you who do not know, I spend a great deal of time working construction, doing various things. I have painted professionally before. It's not my main job, but I have done it as a job. Oh, goodness gracious.
It's okay. I'm going to paint the rest of this.
So we're going to repaint white. The trim?
I'll repaint the trim if I have to, sure.
Okay. Okay. So, see how it's starting to, be less green?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's, let me take
I guess.
Yeah, so like if you look in the middle here, you can see that it's like very green. But if you go to the edge where you just were, I'm gonna roll this down a little bit. Now, do you see the difference between the color that I just laid down and the color that is next to it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is what you're actually experiencing over there in that corner, right next to the trim, because it is not thick enough. And if it's not thick enough, you're going to have the same problem that we had with the primer, where the behind color is bleeding through. So we come back over here, where we see these little splotchy parts.
Yeah.
You run back over until it starts to look smooth and more complete with that color.
Okay.
And when you get close to the edge here, don't get close to the edge enough to be able to touch this. That's what the edger's for.
Okay.
So we come down. And there is that. Now you are more than welcome to just talk, and I can paint because I think it will turn out better.
I want to take offense to that, but you know what? Do what you need to do. I will talk. I will keep an eye on the chat, and I will be behind the scenes, I guess.
Okay.
Okay. So.
So that is not an offense like at Duffy. He's never painted professionally. He's never. I'm not saying that I'm like amazingly good at it.
Well, no, you got the experience. I'm not offended here, and no one should think that was offensive at all. You're just better at this than I am, and if we're doing this, we're not doing this because we want a green wall. We're doing this so that we can make better videos.
Yeah.
So if we're going to try and spare my feelings for this, and at the risk of having a really crappy job, that's just a bad idea. So. Anyway, Storyman says he's going now, but hopefully he'll be back later.
See you, Storyman.
Somebody who I don't think I've ever seen comment before, the Nerd Shack, showed up. Have you ever heard of him?
That sounds familiar, but
if he's commented before, it's not too regularly. The Nerd Shack says, I've been working out regularly for 5 months now,
awesome,
and I've lost all my drive and motivation, but I'm getting back on track.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
That's very important. I can kind of agree with you there, man. I'm just now getting back on track myself. Steven's really been a help. I have tried losing weight before. I've said before, dozens and dozens of times without anyone to have my back on that. And it always ends with me eventually, losing my drive and losing motivation, and just kind of giving up and winding up in a worse place than I was before. I recently went through that, and I did gain some of that weight back, but I haven't gotten to the point where I'm just giving up totally and just throwing in the towel. I'm getting back on track before things get out of hand again. And everyone's liable to go through something like that, and the fact that you're trying to get back on track is the most important part.
Yeah, you can't give up. You gotta always keep trying to move forward.
All right, Rohan Joshi asks, who would win, Captain America or Batman?
It sort of depends on the setup. I don't like the whole, if you give Batman prep time, he can win anything, because that's sort of stupid, because if you give anybody unlimited prep time, they should be able to win.
Yeah, that's important.
But, there's a divot in this part of the wall.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, so, my opinion of that is, Batman has trained himself to the peak of pretty much physical perfection. And he is, going to be fighting someone who is superhuman. So, Captain America is if you took all the stuff that human beings could do, maxed it out, and then pushed it a little bit further.
Then just put a small multiplier on top of it.
Yeah. So now, mind you, that doesn't mean that you win just based purely on strength, because fighting is not about just strength. It's also skill. Batman's extremely skilled in a variety of martial arts. Captain America, on the other hand, has just trained in them.
But Captain America's been in war. So when it comes down, been in war. So when it comes down to,
Captain America has actually killed people.
He has actually killed people, and Batman has said this before, and many people have said this before. No good plan. No plan survives first contact with the enemy. So ultimately, you just strip these two guys down to having contact with each other here in battle, and no plan to work out with. Who do you think is going to? I think they're both kind of equally good at staying cool under pressure.
Yeah, but also you have to think about, is this broad daylight? If it's broad daylight, that gives Cap an advantage. If it's
night, it's dark out. If it's
night, then you give Batman the advantage.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, that doesn't mean the total advantage. Just nighttime is more of an advantage to Batman than daytime.
Because he hides in the shadows all the time. He's not very good at hiding in the. He's not good at the daytime stuff, unless you're looking at Adam West, who was almost never around at dark, because he had his bedtime. I don't know. That's a good question. I want to give it to Captain America simply because whenever Batman's paired up with somebody, everyone's always like, well, Batman could do it because he got the gadgets and he's super smart. Yeah, but Captain America is not stupid. Captain America is very intelligent. He's a good strategist. He's a leader. He's a better leader than Batman is. Let's face it. Batman is not a leader that most people would be able to follow. One of the things I thought was great about Young Justice, whereas any other Teen Titans show or story usually places Robin/Nightwing in the the chair of he should be in charge because he's Batman's sidekick. But I remember in Young Justice, Robin kind of tried to take that role, but because he was trained by Batman, who expected Robin to just know what to do most of the time, Robin was not very good at leading. Not a team that had only just gotten together. I thought that was really good in Young Justice. I was getting a little off track here, but I think the idea here is that Batman is a very specific kind of intelligent, and he's a very specific kind of strategist, and a very specific kind of leader. Captain America is a lot more well-rounded in those areas, I think.
And I think in terms of, if you take combat skill and just say, that's martial art in general, martial arts are always situational. And so one martial art in one situation is not going to be useful, or it's going to be more useful than it would be in another situation. Like, for instance, judo, you throw somebody on a mat, and they're like, hey, that hurt. Judo, you throw somebody on the concrete, and they die. So, it's
yeah,
there's a difference there.
I think with Batman, another advantage that Batman has over criminals that he wouldn't have with Captain America is that you know, as he said, criminals are... What's wrong?
No, something happened earlier when you were using the roller, and it's got these little things in here. It's partially just because of the way you were rolling it.
Gotcha. Sorry.
That's all right.
Batman's advantage of criminals they wouldn't have with Captain America is simply by the merit that, as he said before, criminals are a superstitious and cowardly lot. Captain America ain't going to show no fear of Batman. He's not going to get all jittery and lose his cool because there's some guy in a bat costume.
There's no fear of the bat in Captain America, because not only is he a soldier and it doesn't matter, but Captain America's seen a lot of really costumed, like, crazy people. He's not going to be freaked out by that.
Yeah, so Batman can act all intimidating and stuff, and Captain America just be like, son, you have no idea what fear is. I fought the Nazis. I'm thinking of this in terms of Batman the Animated Series Batman versus Captain America from the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon.
Honestly,
which is the best Captain America representation I've ever seen. I love that one.
I'm honestly thinking the exact same, like, matchup.
That's awesome. That's really cool that we're on the same page there. I think that Captain America is just absolutely fantastic, so I have to give this one to Captain America. I'm sure Captain America could probably take care of that without killing Batman, if he had to, but he could also probably just kill Batman if he wanted to. You just gotta be careful, because Batman usually gets a lot of leeway in these kinds of combat situations.
Oh yeah,
because there's a hypothetical thing going on.
Because at least in Batman's case, a lot of people, he wins a lot of encounters because of popularity.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of comic encounters are not decided on, you know, the actual stats of the character, but they're they're decided on popularity.
Like Death Battle.
No, Death Battle is personal bias.
Well, I mean,
like I cannot stand the Superman versus Goku thing that they did, because they literally intentionally miscalculated Goku's stats and like overrepresented Superman's stats just so that they could manipulate the fight the way they wanted to. And then when they did the rematch, they essentially said during that it really didn't matter how strong Goku got, because he could never beat Superman.
Because Superman is as strong as he needs to be, and it all depends on the person who's riding him at the time. And that's just a load of crap. Because, you know, if you're going to go by that stat, Goku's at a disadvantage because he's essentially only ever been written by one guy.
That's not true.
Okay. Compared to what we're talking about with Superman, how you have some writers who just treat him like a god.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Goku's strength varies sometimes, yes, but ultimately it's all been the same timeline. It's all been the same universe. We don't have these Elseworld stories where Goku suddenly.
They do now. They've gotten that way with like the games and the especially Dragon Ball Heroes. It's like,
okay, well, you're talking about, okay, fine. What I'm trying to say here, and I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm like changing my story here just to keep with the same point, but Superman's been around since the 30s, since the late 30s. He's had a variety of people, he's been rebooted more times than we can count, and yet all of these reboots and all of these different writers and all of this stuff is all still considered the source material.
Yeah,
now,
they draw from as many different sources as they want to. They pick and choose. They don't pick one thing and say, okay, this is the Superman that we're using for the sake of this argument.
Right, they just say, oh, we'll pick the strongest one. And the strongest Goku... No, they don't even do that. They don't even go with the strongest Goku. They just go with source material Goku. So, I'm not entirely sure.
And this is something that I really don't like about Death Battle, is that they completely limit characters to the feats that they've made them, that they've seen. So it's like, it's like, 18, when they did the 18 versus Captain Marvel one, is 18 can destroy a building, because that's what they've seen her do. Never mind the fact that 18 could have one-shotted a planet-destroying Frieza like that. No, that's power scaling. That doesn't work. That doesn't count. It's like, Look, people say that power scaling doesn't work, but it has to work, especially in a world like Dragon Ball, where you have so many different characters that can blow up planets, but they can't blow up planets because you have to have somewhere to fight. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You have to have power scaling. It has to.
So, yeah, if they don't get on board with that, Death Battle Goku vs. Superman 3 isn't going to go very well, I can't imagine.
I can't believe they're even doing it.
I mean, the only point in doing it would be to admit that you were wrong before, and let's give them a fair fight. And
honestly, what they should do is they should just have my brain is. I'm very tired, so my brain's not doing all the things that I want it to do. He debunks Death Battle stuff. Talk about him all the time.
The programmer?
Yeah, they should have Seth the programmer come on to Death Battle just so that they can be like, oh yeah, we're sorry. Let's you know.
Oh, by the way, Chris and Blaine, you're truly Chris and Blaine have showed up on the stream here. So
hey guys,
we're talking about who would win in a fight, X versus Y. Somebody's asking, what about Arkham Batman versus Rogers?
Oh, well, I'm going to have to let Duffy field that one because I have never played the Arkham series.
Okay, so I played the Arkham series, and Captain America still wins. Here's why. Now that we are dealing with a specific Batman, I can tell you that as good as he is, he also dies really easily. It's a video game, so he has to be able to die easily enough so that there's actually a challenge to the game. But just a few bullets, which you can take, which you can get hit with in those games, and Batman goes down. Batman, even in Endgame, is very weak if you don't play properly. And even someone who's playing really properly and doing a good job and being very careful about what their button inputs are, they're still going to have a hard time with some of the late game stuff. So pair that up against any incarnation of Steve Rogers. You didn't give me an incarnation of Rogers to use, so I'll just keep going with that cartoon one that I love so much. Captain America is still going to win.
Why?
Because first off, in those games, Batman only ever takes down small time guys, like just the thugs with brute force. Anything else has to be done with tactics, and that's all dependent on your environment, of course. So with Captain America, it's basically Batman's gadgets, which are essentially a few different variations on the grappling hook and a few variations on the batarangs, versus Captain America, who's got a shield and possibly a gun.
And mind you, a Captain America that can throw that shield and have it bounce off stuff and catch it, I guarantee he can catch a batarang.
Oh yeah, he can catch a batarang. You know all those times, the ridiculousness, I've always thought this seemed so unrealistic, and if it's not unrealistic, I'm sure Steven will correct me immediately, but in Arrow, whenever you've got someone else who knows how to use a bow and arrow, catching an arrow as it's headed for their face in midair,
arrows go really fast.
Yeah.
They go really fast. And there are people in a controlled setting who can catch an arrow.
Okay, but not in the battlefield.
But most of the time when they catch the arrow, they catch it from the side as it's going by. Like this.
Right. And
catching it as it's coming at you is a different scenario for two reasons. First of all, you have to time it.
Just right.
Second of all, you have to, once you grab it, exert the opposite force, because even if you grab it, it's still moving in this direction.
Yeah.
Because that's how force works. So if you don't grab it and then exert the force to stop the arrow's forward momentum, it's still moving inside of you. You just happen to have your hand on it now.
So, it's true Batman and Captain America have fought in crossover comics before, and I've got a whole bunch of crossover
My favorite
comics.
one is the right before the Amalgam series. Like when they're fighting in the they're actually the last fight, and they're in the sewer, and they fight to a standstill.
I could see that happening too, supposedly. The thing is, when it comes down to it, ultimately, a superhero versus a supervillain, the superhero will always come out on top eventually. When it comes to superheroes fighting superheroes, unless you give me a good reason for why they're fighting, it's not just a misunderstanding like it always happens, then really it's kind of silly to even talk about it, because eventually these guys are going to realize, oh, we're on the same side. We'll stop fighting, and now there's no actual winner. So, what was the point of all this?
Yeah, because if they're fighting because they're sparring, then that's a different thing. They're not going to be using all of the tactics that they would be trying to use against somebody in in an actual all-out fight. I am concerned.
I'm very concerned too.
That we might have to repaint this.
Yeah, what's going on exactly? Do you know?
Okay, so the main issue here is that with the way that the paint is going on,
yeah,
you can still see the white behind. And you see these, you can actually see, are you looking on the...
I'm looking over here.
No, look over here. You see this?
Yeah.
This line here? That is partially due to the wall not being flat. There's some like...
bumps and divots and all
yeah,
that.
because this was not properly painted or whatever before. The people who owned this house before were very big DIYers.
Oh my god.
And they did not do a good job.
So many problems in this house.
So
we've managed to fix a lot of them, but apparently painting this wall was not something we saw a problem with until now.
Yeah, so this actually might, you see us painting this now, and that's great and all, but actually we might have to do this again after this dries. And I'm going to recommend that we do that just for, decent looking sake. And if you're, before you sell the place, if you're going to have the whole house be, paint this whole room white again, it's not a big deal that this isn't perfect all the way around, since we're just going to be boxing in this area here. So we'll still edge this in, but it doesn't have to be like super amazing or anything. Because if we can try to keep the green paint away from the ceiling as much as possible,
okay,
pretty solid. We do need to try to edge the bottom in a little bit more, which I don't know where that. I really want to know where that edger is. But so at this point, I'm going to probably transition to using the brush.
Okay.
In the corner here, and then on the bottom. If you want to fix that, the tarp for me.
Okay.
That would be helpful.
Now, I remember reading Batman vs. Captain America comics, and some of my favorite Marvel vs. DC comics were actually the ones where Batman and Spider-Man teamed up. There was one where they teamed up because the Joker and Carnage got together.
That's terrible.
Oh gosh! And then the first time they did it was the Kingpin and Ra's al Ghul,
which is also pretty bad.
Well, okay, yeah, it's also pretty bad, but spoiler alert for comics that probably came out in the late 90s or something like that. With that one, the first time they got together, Ra's al Ghul had secretly poisoned Vanessa, Kingpin's wife, and had set it up so that there was only one antidote for it, and Ra's al Ghul can provide it. And he was like, he sent in his messenger. No, he sent Talia. He sends Talia there, and she's like, my father is a great man, and he can probably find the cure for your wife's weird cancer thing that doctors don't know anything about. And Kingpin's like, okay, then I will come and do whatever he wants. And they're going to team up, and Batman and Spider-Man get together to fight them. Then they sneak aboard Kingpin's plane, and they go to Ra's al Ghul's headquarters with Kingpin, and they fight everybody, and then Kingpin's threatening to blow stuff up. And then they're like, wait, what happened? And something like that. Batman and Spider-Man managed to completely shut down their systems.
Can I have that chair?
Yeah. They're like, well, how could they have done this? How could they have broken into Ra's al Ghul's super secure systems? And then Kingpin's like, oh, I helped them. Because as soon as Kingpin found out that Ra's al Ghul had something to do with this, he talked with Batman and Spider-Man and was like, I'm nobody's fool. And so they're like, Ra's al Ghul's like, oh, well, that's great. Well played, Wilson. Now you can get out of here, and I'm not giving you that antidote. And I think Talia was like, oh, this sucks. My dad's being an a-hole here. And so she gets in touch with Batman and gives him the antidote. And then who gives it to Spider-Man, who gives it to Wilson Fisk.
She probably tries to hit on Batman.
Oh, of course, that happens.
Because she loves him.
Finally, at the end of it all, Batman's like, all right, fine, I'll give you a handshake. And Spider-Man's like, but then they had this one where Carnage and Joker got together, and it looked like it was going to go terrible. These are two of the most vicious, homicidal, crazy people ever. And it turns out that as soon as those two got together and started talking about how they like to kill people, they wound up realizing they're very different.
They're incompatible.
Joker likes to kill people en masse. Like, just get it all done in bulk, kill a whole bunch of people. And Carnage's like,
he's
no,
the Sam's Club.
You have to. Carnage was like, no, we have to kill them one at a time and like enjoy the sound of the flesh peeling off of their muscles and bones and just watching their blood come out and stuff. Blah blah blah.
That's the difference between buying in bulk and getting somebody from like a specialty store to do
going
something.
to farmer's market.
Yeah, so it's like you're still going to get the same number of people killed. It's just going to take a little longer, and there's going to be a lot more attention to detail.
So Batman and Spider-Man, by the time they find where Carnage and Joker are, those two are already trying to kill each other. So it was very interesting.
I honestly don't see Carnage having any problems taking care of the Joker.
Joker was doing a pretty good job for himself.
I'm sure that's just a narrative thing.
Oh, I know. Just like with Death Battle. The writers will do whatever they want. Now, what if Carnage symbiote attached itself to Joker? Then you've got a problem.
Then it would probably be crazy.
Yes.
More than normal.
More than normal. But yeah, those are some of my favorite DC Marvel crossovers. I don't understand, though, like, they were never consistent with those things, because, like, half the time, these people just always existed in the same universe and just never interact with each other except for right now. And then the other half the time, there's actual trans-universe transportation crossover stuff
honestly,
going on.
That's one of my main issues with Western comics in general, is the lack of consistency in a unified storyline.
Oh, there is no consistency.
It's one of the reasons I love manga and anime so much, because for the most part, you have one consistent storyline, there's a basic canon, and you can, you can understand the story in a relatively straightforward linear means. There is no story to Western comics. There are archetypes and adventures that you get to it's like seriously the equivalent of random people writing fan fiction.
Oh yeah,
all over the place.
All over the place. And sometimes they'll redo old plot points in a completely different way because people liked this plot story, so we'll just do it again differently, updated. And it's like, listen, if I asked somebody, hey, what was Gohan wearing when he defeated Perfect Cell? There's a definitive answer for that. Yeah. If I asked you, what was Clark Kent wearing the day that he went and fought Doomsday and died? Who knows? Because that story's been done like 3 different times at least in movies and cartoons and TV shows and comics and whatnot.
I mean, it would be the equivalent of saying that Dragon Ball AF, which is a completely fan-made thing.
Okay. Dragon
Ball GT, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, they're all equally valid references for Dragon Ball. Yeah. When they're just not.
So I hated I always disliked the inconsistency in the way comics stories were told, but I didn't realize that there was a completely, different comic book style where they actually gave a crap about that stuff. So after I got into manga and anime, I was like, oh my goodness, they're doing things that I've always wanted to see done. Like, a story is told, and that's how it's told.
Yeah, that's the story.
It's not like
which is one of the reasons I really enjoy the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because you look at it and you go, okay, that's the story. There's nothing else going on. Mm-hmm. Obviously there's some side stories with like the Marvel TV shows, but for the most part,
but that stuff stays within the continuity.
They all tie, even if they don't ever reference it, it's all tied in with the same stuff.
Right. And the only time they've contradicted themselves, and it had to have been an accident, it had to be a director making a mistake because he wasn't thinking straight, was with Spider-Man Homecoming, when it says that story took place 8 years after Avengers, which came out in 2012, which was only 6 years after. Or, was it 6 years after? Whatever, it wasn't 8 years, I just remember that much. And then in Infinity War, Tony kind of confirms that the first Avengers movie happened 6 years ago, so there's like a time, but that's just one small thing that's easily overlooked.
That's writing stuff that you can go, oh man, we messed up there, and you can fix it, and you can explain it doing stuff, and I'm okay with that. It's like the same kind of thing when people, they take, you retcon those statements with explanations.
Right.
Like you take Han Solo saying that he can do the Kessel Run in less than 6 parsecs, it's like parsecs is a unit of measurement. It's not time.
Right.
And so people explained that, you know, because there was just a misstep on
right.
Lucas's writing.
But you're able to fix that.
But they explained that, saying that the Kessel Run is a very dangerous part of space, and he was able to get through it because he was, you know, such a good pilot. And so he was able to take more of a straight line rather than having to go around. Which is a great explanation. That's not what the original intent of that statement was.
Right.
But it makes it more cohesive throughout the entire, you know, the series or whatever.
I just realized that there's like no head there on the screen.
That's fine. I'm standing on a chair.
But like, if I asked somebody, hey, what if, like, when did Peter Parker first hear or say, or when did the words "with great power comes great responsibility" first get uttered within continuity? Oh, well, I mean, that depends. Are we talking about the Raimi films?
What continuity?
Are we talking about the comic books? Are we talking about the 90s cartoon? Are we talking about the 60s cartoon? Are we talking about Spectacular Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, Marvel
Japanese Spider-Man?
Japanese Spider-Man, where he said, "I'm an emissary of hell"? I mean, there's not really a way you can say who first said this within a continuity, because there's so many different answers for that.
It's like asking who the first Pokemon is.
Now, the most common answer is, oh my god, exactly, yeah. Is it Mew? Is it Arceus? Is it Rhyhorn? Then you've got the issue of, like go back to the Great Power line. Most commonly the answer would be, well, Uncle Ben's the one that said it. Okay, but when did he say it? In the Raimi films, it was in a car outside of the library. In the Ultimate Spider-Man comic book, it was when disciplining Peter in front of his friends outside of a party. In, you know, this cartoon, it was here, and in this cartoon, it was there, and in this comic book, it was there. So the fact that you can't give a straight answer for a simple question in Western comics is what angers me. Especially when in Japan, you can say, you know, who was the first Super Saiyan? When did Goku, or, you know, here's a good question. When did Goku first go Super Saiyan? There is a definitive answer for that. Now, if Goku was a character made in the West, by this point, there'd probably be 3 answers for that. It'd probably, was it with Vegeta, was it against Frieza on Planet Namek? Or was it some other time?
There are some trick questions, like, when did Gohan go Super Saiyan 2 for the first time? You know the answer to that? In the time chamber.
Oh. I thought, really?
Yes. Because that's how Goku knew.
I thought he just assumed that his son was going to be able to do that.
He saw it happen.
Cool. Alright, I didn't know that.
It was just for a split second, and then he went back to normal.
Uh-oh. Is our sound gone?
I don't know. Hello?
Barely hear us, she said.
I cannot hear you. Oh boy, cannot hear ya.
Hold on, I need more confirmation here. Yes, keep singing, Steven. Or don't, I don't know. Oh, Blaine says he can hear us.
Well, that's all that matters, Blaine. As long as you can hear me, then I'm
Blaine
good.
Can hear. That's good. You know what? I'm looking at my face here with the shaved hair. If I waxed all of this off, I could probably play Wilson Fisk for Halloween.
So Blaine is a patron, right?
Yeah, he's a patron. He's also on Team Duffy.
Okay. So Blaine's a patron. Do we have any other patrons in the audience right now?
I will let you know when they answer. I think Chris is here. I don't know what Chris isn't a patron. I'm sorry. He's in Team Duffy too, but not a patron. I'm trying to remember who else is a patron here. If you're a patron, just go ahead and let us know. Because
I just have a question that I want to ask you guys. So.
Well, I mean, we already have a patron here, so go ahead and ask the question, and if anyone else does, I'll let you know.
Yeah, so, what would you... So, there's going to be like a patron-only live stream that we're going to be doing on Facebook, and that's just going to be like behind-the-scenes questions that you can ask and stuff like that. And so I wanted to know, like, you know, what... We're probably going to do a patron-only live stream once a week. And so I wanted to know what a time, like a good time for that. Yeah,
or once a month.
No, like I think a patron-only live stream, like once a week, and it doesn't have to be like a long live stream. It might be 30 minutes, might be an hour.
You know, a live stream or a hangout?
That's bad. No, it'd be like a live because it'd be on the Facebook group. The patron Facebook group.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think, And that, you know, that live stream may be me or it may be Duffy. It may be me and Duffy. But, it, you know, it's just...
Michael Keaton?
It's real anime training, like the content creation stuff. So it's like, because you guys help us make content, so.
Yeah. Oh, man. Now I've got Spirit vs. Spirit stuck in my head.
I know you do. Because I sang it.
Great song, though. Love that song.
Okay. And yeah, so you see the splotchiness here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to paint that again. So, it's okay.
We'll get there.
Not a bad thing. You just, you know, want to make sure that it looks good. And the good thing is that Lindsay's not here, so she's not going to be all, like, dead with the paint.
No, we specifically got rid of Lindsay. Bad choice of words.
That was a bad choice of words. It is
we
warm in here.
specifically had her, you know, go visit her family this week because of all the painting. She's very sensitive when it comes to smell, and the fumes from the paint can make her feel sick. So we were like, look, we got painting to do, and if you're gone, we can paint and get this thing out of the way and done. I can finally stain the staircase, which is something I've been meaning to do, but been unable to do since she's here. So I'm just trying to get as much work done in this house so that way when she gets back, you know, everything's done and she doesn't have to worry about that.
Can you bring me the
Oh, Swan Hernandez wants to know why I am bald.
Because he cut his hair.
So I cut my hair.
Can you bring me the paint thing?
The roller or the tray?
No, the tray.
Sure.
Both hands.
Both hands. Here you are. Yes, I am bald. It's because I shaved my hair, because I was like, I wanted to shave my hair. I don't know. That's why I did it, because I wanted to. Cut my hair a little while ago. And, then I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go bald. But I want to go Krillin bald. So what do you have to do to that? You have to actually wax the head?
No, you have to shave it with, like, a razor.
But, like, what kind of razor?
Like they make, well, I mean, you could do it with a face razor, but they do make head razors.
See, I did it with a face razor last night. I went ahead, I used a big electric razor, and I shaved all the hair off, and then I took my face razor, and started going over it, but I'm guessing that wasn't good enough. So, I don't know. I actually was a little Supreme Kai-like last night when I was doing this, because I shaved this off, and then this off, and I had like this little mohawk thing sticking up here, and that was kind of funny to feel. I was like, oh, that's really weird. Anyway, enough talking about my hair. It's kind of weird to talk about that with you guys. Do the eyebrows next. Wait, why is Swan Hernandez's message retracted?
I don't know.
Leo is awake now, and Duffy is bald again.
Hello, Leo.
Hi, Leo. Good to see you. Hey, if you are a Plus member, I know that I've talked about this on Plus, and I know we had some issues, like the mobile menu wasn't working right, and there were a few other things that were, you know, making things hard for our Plus members. Those have all been resolved, so if you have any issues and you're a Plus member, let me know. You can let me know right now if you want, or over in the forums over there, because I did my best. I'm pretty sure everything's fixed. I haven't been able to recreate the problems anymore, so things should be up going over there.
Also, for our Plus members, we're working on some other stuff right now for you to be able to contact us more easily.
Yeah.
And so, you know, because I know we've got the forums, and the forums are great for like community conversations, but they're not as great for being able to
get in touch with
us.
Right,
so,
like you can't tag somebody in a message or anything like that.
Yeah, so we're working on a workaround for that, and so hopefully that'll make the whole thing a little bit more simple, and you're actually going to be getting some additional value. So
yeah, we're going to be adding some more stuff to Real Anime Training Plus really soon. And if you're not a Plus member and you don't know what it is already, you go to our website, realanimetraining.com, and click on Find Your Final Form on the top of the page, and we'll go over exactly what it is that we're offering people. And it's been a pretty good product so far, and our users have enjoyed it. We've had some bugs that haven't worked out.
There's going to be some changes here shortly, but it's not going to be anything that's going to decrease the value.
Oh yeah, we're only increasing the value of the product. It's so good. We put a lot of work into that thing. And we're going to be having some more exercise videos coming out shortly, so... Well, soon enough.
Also, when's the Real Anime Training video coming out? I thought it was supposed
to be shoot! The Real Anime Training video! God dang it, I forgot all about it.
We made this video!
Do you guys remember back in July when you guys helped us create a Real Anime Training video? You do? Well, good, because here's the deal. We went ahead and did the exercises. So, like, what was it? Guts. So you guys did help Steven come up with a guts real training workout, and we had Steven film the different exercises for that workout. And now we're going to ask you guys to do the workout, film yourself doing it, send us the videos of that.
And for the record, you're not going to do the whole workout. We recorded the movement standards, and I just want to show, want to have you like do those movements so we can put it in there. The actual completed workout will be in the next video.
Yeah. So you're just going to go ahead and do as many of these exercises as you can, film yourself doing them, send them to us, and then I will make a actual guts real-life training workout video. And not only will we have Steven doing the workout, we'll also get to show clips of you guys doing the workout, and it'll be really cool because you helped us write this program, so you're going to get to be in the video, and that's what's going to be important. So about 30 minutes, I'm uploading it right now. So in about 30 minutes, we should have.
You mean it was done already?
It's done, yeah.
And you just didn't upload it?
And I just didn't upload it.
Oh my goodness. Here, take this.
Oh, sure. I forgot to upload, but that's okay.
You ever forgot? Happened to me.
Yeah. Well, Leo, I'm glad that you think the menus on the site are looking nice. I liked the way they looked before. They were fancier, but unfortunately,
Duffy's a fan of fancy.
They weren't practical on mobile devices, so I'm still working with the developers of the plugin we're using for that menu so that we can try and get it to work in mobile, but if they don't help me, then like, there's nothing I can do. As long as you guys can actually use what you're paying for, that's what matters, you know? And at this point, it looks like you're just literally just listening to us while looking at a green wall. Steven is still there. Anyway, guys, so, let's see here. What else is there to talk about?
It's just taking a little longer than I wanted to.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't think it would take this long, but I mean...
But fortunately, I think this drive...
He wants you to know that he's still down there working, too, so... Huh.
So we're just gonna make some
So here's a question.
trees here.
Happy little trees. That's a happy big tree, actually. This is actually just one big
leaf. It's just
one big leaf on the happy little tree. Happy giant tree. So yeah, I don't know. Here's a question that I've been hearing a lot of debate on. What's your favorite incarnation of Spider-Man? I mean, movie incarnation.
Movie incarnation.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say the Tom Holland one is probably my favorite.
Okay. Do you like the fact that he's a young high schooler? In this?
I do like that.
So I do too. I really do like this, but I don't know how long I want to see that go on for.
No, I don't think it should go on for very long, but I think the reason that it's important for it to be there is because it's showcasing his age difference from the rest of the
Sure.
everybody else.
I'm not totally sure why, but apparently the Raimi films are still incredibly popular. And I'm
I think it's because they were like the first real go at it.
I mean, they were, and I do. There are two things, and really only two things that I like about from the Raimi movies, and that is Willem Dafoe and J.K. Simmons.
They're pretty amazing.
They're the best actors in that entire series, I have to say. And even barring what happened with Spider-Man 3 and what a train wreck that was, I love that version of Jonah Jameson. I love that version of
People love Spider-Man 2. It's atrocious to me. Should not have been able to fight like that because he got punched in the face from Spider-Man, who was canonically able to stop a train and stronger.
True. Very true. I don't know. I never, even as a kid, I mean, of course, as a kid, seeing Spider-Man on the big screen, this is actually kind of funny right here. Let me tell you something that really is kind of freaking me out here. What? Is that I'm over here saying I saw Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire in theaters as a kid. And yet I've been watching people on YouTube the last couple of days talking about their experience with Spider-Man movies, and they're like, Yeah, I mean, I saw Amazing Spider-Man 2, as a 14-year-old in theaters, and I'm like, wait, okay, so when did you see Spider-Man 1? They're like, I saw Spider-Man 1 on DVD, like, a couple years ago. But that movie came out 16 years... It came out 16 years ago? People born during that movie's premiere are just now getting their driver's license?
I think we're done here.
Oh, we're so done here. So that just made me feel old, of course. But the idea here is that Tobey Maguire, as a kid, it was exciting to see Spider-Man on the big screen. My dad was ecstatic to see Spider-Man because he was a huge comic book fan. But as a kid, something was off about Tobey Maguire, and I wasn't like some kid who criticized all the films that he saw. Usually, I was just infatuated with anything, and I was infatuated with this movie. I can, to this day, quote the entire movie line for line.
Good gravy.
And maybe one day I will do that for like some sort of live stream thing. I don't know. Probably not. But I can do that because I watched that movie so many times as a kid. And though I might not be able to remember very important memories about my life because of the carbon monoxide, I know Spider-Man 1 by heart.
That's what's important.
That's right. That's me. Only remembering the important things in life. That said, I still didn't like Tobey Maguire as a kid. I loved Willem Dafoe. I loved their version of Jonah Jameson. My dad hated the fact that they went with Mary Jane Watson as the love interest because as a comic book collector, my dad was like, no, it should be Gwen Stacy first, then you can get MJ after you kill Gwen Stacy. Technically, he'd go even further if you let him go further. He'd go even further and say, technically, it should be Betty Brant first, and then you can get into like Liz Allen and then Gwen Stacy. But I mean, he would be fine starting with Gwen Stacy, but MJ at the time was the latest thing, and he didn't understand why they were starting with that. I mean, I guess that kind of is the answer right there, though. It was the latest thing, the latest love interest in the comic books. But that's something interesting right there. I know we were talking about the inconsistencies in comic books in the West compared to mangas. But everything that's ever happened in the Marvel comic book universe has happened. Like everything, every single storyline has happened. It's happened in the comic books is still canon. So, like, the fact that Peter dated Betty Brant for a while back in the 60s is still a part of his history.
But how?
Because they just what they'll do is they'll just say, that happened exactly as you remember it, and Peter was wearing those clothes that were, popular for nerds to wear in the 60s. But, he was just, they were just like Goodwill clothes, old stuff. And just push it all a little bit forward and just change a little something here and there to make it look like it happened more recently. And, yes, he had a short-lived girlfriend named Betty Brant, who, was Jonah Jameson's secretary. They broke up for the exact same part of these characters' histories. Do you know what the answer they came up with was?
No.
They said that Franklin Richards developed a superpower that allows him to change reality to how he sees fit. And he doesn't want the superheroes and the friends and what he knows to go away and grow old. So he actually just keeps things the same. So time actually technically passes slower, so you can fit more events and stuff in a shorter period of time. And it's all just Franklin Richards trying to keep his childhood from dying out.
Well, Franklin Richards does have crazy powers.
Yes, he does. We can blame, of course, the worst, most evil man in all of Marvel history, Reed Richards, for that. Because Reed Richards is a terrible person.
Hashtag truth.
Hashtag Reed sucks.
Hashtag Dr. Doom did nothing wrong.
Okay, Leo says Spectacular Spider-Man is his favorite Spider-Man and heard that the PS4 version may be the best version now, but he'll need to play it to see. Leo, Spectacular Spider-Man, you talk about the cartoon, of course, I'm sure, right? Spectacular Spider-Man is the greatest out of all mediums of Spider-Man stories. I freaking love Spectacular. Have you seen Spectacular Spider-Man, Steven?
No.
Oh, it is the best. It is so good. And it was, of course, canceled. It was actually written by the same guy that wrote Young Justice.
Okay.
So you know it's good. I'm glad you like our thumbnail, Fred. Spectacular Spider-Man is a fantastic cartoon, but for a video game, starting with a Spider-Man that has been doing this for 8 years at this point. Spectacular Spider-Man, Pete's been Spidey, like, when that series starts, he's been Spider-Man for just a couple of months. And so you get a very young Spider-Man. So I think they're both great for different reasons. Peter is, of course, in Spectacular Spider-Man, very young, and he's still learning this stuff, and he's meeting new villains for the first time. They actually took a very big emphasis on the villain Tombstone for a while in that series. So they were, like, going with some guys that a lot of kids might not have actually known about at the time. But the PS4 version is a completely different story because it's an older character, so you get a different kind of viewpoint on that. So I think they're both great.
One of my favorite things is when they make media of things and then they use lesser known villains and stuff.
Yeah.
As long as they handle them properly.
Like what villains? Like what examples you got?
I mean, what you like as an like I can't really think of it right now, but like
okay,
what you were talking about, something like that. I like that.
So like they used Tombstone in that, which I don't think was a character that even appeared in the '90s cartoon, if I'm right, because the '90s cartoon went on for like 5 years, I think. So that thing they covered a lot of ground in that, and I think with Spectacular Spider-Man they were like, okay, we don't want to redo the same stuff, so. But they still covered a lot of iconic storylines. Like, they even covered, in Spectacular Spider-Man, they covered the whole Harry Osborn gets addicted to drugs storyline.
Oh, yeah?
And they just did something different with it, but they still, referenced it in that manner. But yeah, you want to talk about how Marvel refuses to give up on any of their continuity? Like, if you ever need evidence that that's exactly what they're doing, you need to read Enter the Spider-Verse. Because when you got, or not Enter Spider, that's the name of the movie that's coming out. You gotta read Spider-Verse because they take every Spider-Man that's ever existed and have them all meet up throughout the multiverse. And I mean, they include the Toei Spider-Man.
Wow.
They include the Spider-Man from the '60s cartoon. And I mean, the Spider-Man from the '60s cartoon is drawn exactly the same way as he was back in the day.
That's crazy.
So like, they take everything, and they're doing another Spider-Verse event, I think this year or next year. And they're even going to... Everyone else, it seems, is able to hear us. I'm sorry you're having trouble with that. Leo says that Tombstone was in the '90s cartoon, but he was much more awesome and spectacular. Blaine is leaving the stream so he can go play Pokemon trading card game online. Yes, that they've got the Japanese Spider-Man in that thing. And they do a good job keeping everything separated. So you've got, the Spider-Man 2099... Oh, Blaine's not leaving. He's just playing TCGO while also watching the stream. Thank you, Blaine. We are honored that you can't choose between us. So anyway, I don't know.
It's not about you, Blaine. Not everybody wants to know what you're doing all the time. Jeez.
Wow, that was rude.
Did I tell you I only slept for 4 hours?
Yeah, I know. 4 hours. Oh man. Let's see here. So, wow, it's really starting to look good.
Yeah, I had to let it dry a little bit and then go over it again.
Okay. Dang, what time is it? Wow.
What time is it?
It is 3 o'clock.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, it's 1:25, I'm sorry.
I was like, that's real bad.
Oh, man. We've been taking email marketing classes, so like today's schedule was paint stream followed by class, and then tomorrow more painting but no streaming. And yeah, let's see how that video is coming along. See if we've got the thing uploaded yet. Oh, it's still uploading. Another 10 minutes before the guts video is up, or sorry, creating an RAT workout part 2 is up. So probably actually entering all the details here. Let's see, what are we gonna call this one? We're gonna call this Guts Daily Routine
Movement
Stand. Oh wait, no, hold on. This is creating a real anime training workout. Episode 2. Movement standards. Parenthesis. Guts from Berserk. I don't know why I've been saying parenthesis lately. That's so weird and, like, dumb. Parentheses. Why is Roth the only one painting? Because he said that I'm not allowed to paint. I was doing a bad job, so he just told me, no, go away.
That's not what I said.
No, it's not what he said. He was nicer about it, but we all know that's what he meant.
I am hilarious, and you will quote everything I say.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put together this video while Blue Sun says valid. Do you know Blue Sun?
No.
No? You don't know Blue Sun 2x2? Okay. Oh, let's see here. In this second episode of creating a real animation workout. Steven says. Oh, he does. You do know him. It's Gary?
Hey! Hey, Gary.
He knows Gary. Hello, Gary. The workout video. It's your turn. It's your chance. Let's say it's your chance. It's your chance to be in the upcoming Real Anime Training video. Just film yourself. Just film yourself.
Alright, we may have to touch it up a little bit tomorrow.
Okay.
But that's all I can do to it right now.
Oh, Gary says hello. Number exercises. Shown in this video.
It is very warm.
Yes, it is. So, shall we wrap it up and then head out and get out of here where it's not hot and not smelling of paint and whatnot?
But I like that it smells of paint.
Guys, make sure you go check out the video that we're uploading in just a little bit here. It's going to give you the chance to be a part of the next, not the next, but an upcoming Real Anime Training video. Probably in October, we're thinking, like late October. Give them a month. I'm thinking about giving them a month to make sure they get the videos up.
Nah, we'll give them like 24 minutes.
24 minutes.
And then like, get your videos in the next 24 minutes.
Most internet connections isn't going to give, that's not enough time to even upload a video.
Well, you know what? Maybe they should have thought about that before they lived in a place that didn't have Google Fiber.
We don't have Google Fiber.
Exactly. Maybe we should have thought about that.
We should go get some Google Fiber. Help you with your bowel movements. I don't know. Are we all a little bit too strange for you guys sometimes? Let's see here. I'm not even going to try. I'm terrible at tagging videos, so I'm just going to ask it, what do you think I should tag this video with? And then it will tell me what I should tag this video with. Oh, 6 minutes remaining. It's not telling me what to tag it with, so good job. Training.
Going.
What? I gotta do this first.
I was singing.
Oh. Well, go back to singing then.
Whoa.
For the longest time.
No.
Oh. Jim.
Excuse me.
Okay. You guys like...
Sure did. I
mean, that's true. That's true. I don't mind that. I just think it's funny that we stayed on that topic for almost the entirety of the live stream. We even got off of it at one point and then went right back to Marvel.
Because we're nerds and we will talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is real or not, and you guys can confirm because I haven't done the research. But I saw a picture of a tweet that essentially said that Nintendo in the new Super Mario Brothers
Deluxe
for
thing?
for the Switch.
Yeah.
They're going to include a special level where you get to play as Bowser getting the Super Crown, turning into Bowsette.
There's no way that's true. At all.
I saw a tweet that literally that was from Nintendo.
There's no way that they would have made that quickly. That meme just started, didn't it?
Yeah, but it also caused the stock for Nintendo to jump up $2. So, I mean, like...
Is that... Do you really think that caused the stock to go up?
If it's not causation, it's correlation out the wazoo.
Okay, hang on. Bowsette level Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. I don't know. Do you see? Like, can you show me the tweet?
I mean, no, I don't have it.
Where'd you see it?
I saw a screen cap of it, so it's possible that it might be fake.
I'm pretty sure it's fake, man.
Here, type in Bowser level. Let's see.
Seems so unlikely. Correlation does not prove causation, but it does imply it. While we're looking for Steven's made-up ghost thing ghost tweet.
Somebody said definitely not true, but you know what? You're right. We can hope, and we can dream, and we can write a petition.
I don't think they care. Listen, do you know how long people have been petitioning for Mother 3 to be released in the West? And do you know how many times they've said yes? Robot Chicken even partnered with Nintendo on an E3 a few years ago to make a Robot Chicken introduction to Nintendo's presentation that year, where they had a Robot Chicken version of Reggie Fils-Aimé get up on stage, and then a fan yell out at him and say, "Give us Mother 3, Reggie!" And then Reggie took a fire flower, ate it, got fire powers, and burned that fan to death.
That's terrible. You're terrible. Get out.
I'm not making that up. Okay. So anyway, guys, we're going to hop out of here. Go ahead and make sure you check out that video because it's going to be up in the next 2 minutes.
Hopefully you've enjoyed the joy of painting with Stephen Ross.
Honestly, you could say this is literally the first time that there's been an official or close to official remake of the Joy of Painting with Bob Ross.
That's fair.
This is basically him just picking up his uncle's mantle here.
And I swear to God, look, okay. Nobody knows where my cousin is. Steven. I don't, nobody knows. Apparently he just dropped off the face of the earth. And mind you, he's a lot older than I am, so, I've never really had any contact with him and only met my Uncle Bob once. But, if anybody has any information on where my cousin is, I would love to meet him. Anyway.
If you don't realize, no, Bob Ross, if you ever watch his show, sometimes he'd have his son, Steven, not this guy, show up on the show to paint with him. So, also, if you ever want to see something hilarious that's Bob Ross related, go look up Bob Ross and Fallout 4, because I love that. That is so hilarious. And this guy likes it too, so, it's been approved by the family, I guess, sort of. Bye! Bye!